everyone, welcome to video lecture series of Design of Steel Structure. I am Sudhir B. Gaiki, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Sanjeevani College of Engineering, Kopargaon. So in previous video we have seen design compressive strength for rolled section, design compressive strength for built up sections, and in case of your unit number 3A part we have seen section strength check. When your axial compression column is subjected to movement, what kind of section strength check is required, that part we have completed in unit number 3A part, correct? So in this video we are going to start with B or second part of your unit number 3, and that is related with column basis design. So these column basis designs are nothing but these are the foundations of your industrial building structures. So here in this case you can understand it is a rolled section or rolled column section connected to a base plate with a welded type of connection. Here the welded type of connection is shown here, and some anchor bolts are provided which are fixed at the bottom to a concrete block. So likewise bases are usually adapted in case of industrial buildings, and in short these are called as your foundations. So initially starting with the introduction to column bases, steel columns are normally supported over concrete blocks. However, when the load to be carried is large and the bearing pressure from the concrete from below is insufficient to resist the load, these particular column sections may fail. In short, punching type of failure may be there. So there will be insertion of this column portion into concrete block, or there will be failure of your concrete block. So in order to avoid such kind of failure, usually certain steel base plates are adapted which are kept at the bottom side and top side of your rolled section in order to transfer the load on wider area. So therefore these particular plates distribute the column load to the slab base plates, and therefore that slab base plate are provided at the bottom. So here this particular square type of base plate is there, and it is called as your slab base, to which your vertical column is connected with the help of welding, and at corners your anchor bolts are provided, correct? So the basic classification in case of your bases is either it may be a slab base, so the sketch shown here is a type of slab base, or it may be a gusseted base. So the in short basic difference between these two bases you need to understand. Slab bases are usually adapted for light loadings, and in case of gusseted base these are usually adapted for certain heavy loadings, or when your column section is in addition with compressive load it is subjected to certain movement. In that cases you are going for gusseted type of base. So the basic difference we are going to discuss in next slide. If the base is subject to axial compressive force and the rolled column and the base plate has perfect machining, the compressive force is transferred partially to the concrete block. So here when your column section is connected with base plate, so there is perfect machining, so there are no edges to this particular column and it is exactly vertical fixed to your with your base plate. In that case the load transferring, compressive load transferring from your column section will be directly transmitted to your concrete block. So in that cases usually types of your connection between base plate and column section is not required, and we are assuming that partially the load will be transferred directly, and for partial load or 50% load only we are going to design the connection. So that particular part we are going to see in design steps also. So next slide. So here the basic difference between two types of bases you need to understand, that is difference between your slab base and difference between your gusseted base, correct? So column rolled section, rolled I section column is shown which is connected with your base plate. In both the sketches base plates are common, but the difference is in your gusseted base. Here you can see that additional gusset plate is attached. This additional gusset plate is attached to which your gusset angle or cleat angle is attached. So in case of this particular slab base type, that gusset plate is not present, correct? So here directly your flange section is connected with your cleat angle or flange angle, correct, and the load is directly transmitted to your concrete base or cement concrete slab base, correct? So likewise is the differentiation. Now this differentiation you need to understand. When the loading acting is lighter one or less amount of loading, and there is no only axial force acting on the section or column section, in that cases we prefer slab type of bases for light loading or small industrial sheds. In case of big industrial sheds of larger spans, or when it is subjected to certain loads from gantry girders or some your crane girders, likewise in that cases we are going for gusseted type of base. So this particular gusseted base or gusseted plates are giving additional strength. Usually this particular column area is supported at bottom side, and this particular portion is acting as a overhang portion, and it is going to lift upward side. There will be upliftment of this particular base plate. So in order to restrain the upliftment of base plate gusset plate, we are going to introduce such kind of gusset plates, which are initially connected with your flanges, and after that they are connected with your base plate as well as your concrete block. Correct. So these are adapted. Here you can see in this figure also, and some instructions are given. These are adapted for light loading, used for soil having good safe bearing capacity or soil bearing capacity, and it is subjected to uniform loading. So in short, axial load is going to act on this particular section. It consists of rolled section, base plate, cleat angle and web angle. Correct. So directly gusset plates are absent in case of slab bases, and in case of gusseted base, you can see these are adapted for heavy loading, used when the soil has low bearing capacity, and these are subjected to axial force and bending moment. Also it consists of rolled section and gusset plate. Here intentionally gusset plate is boldly written. So gusset plates are connected with your flanges, and again gusset angle and web cleats are there. Correct. So differentiation is basic. For heavy loading and when your section is subjected with bending moment also, we usually prefer gusseted type of bases. So for in point of view of your university examinations, either for your in semester or end semester examination, both of this particular column may be asked. Usually for in semester examination they may ask related with your slab base, and for gusseted base they may go for end semester examination. Correct. So the next steps, design steps for slab base design. So as we have seen that your steel section is connected with base plate, and your base plate is connected with your bottom side concrete block. Correct. So the pressure from concrete block is to be calculated initially, and that is called as the design first step, that is calculate bearing strength of concrete as per IS 456. This particular code is adapted for RCC detailing or RCC design, and according to that your value here correction is there, it is 0.45 FCK. It is not 45 FCK, 0.45 here, the correction is there, it is 0.45 FCK. So bearing pressure is calculated as 0.45 FCK. So in the numerical itself, compressive strength, FCK stands for your characteristic compressive strength of concrete, that will be mentioned in your problem. Usually minimum grade we are adapting as M20 grade. So FCK value is going to be 20 Newton per mm square. So likewise that calculation will be there. Now after first step you need to calculate the area required for base plate. So here in the figure area is shown, this is length and this particular is your breadth of plate. So for which area required is total force acting on the column divided by bearing strength of concrete, which is calculated in step number 1. Correct. So total load divided by bearing strength is 0.45 into FCK. You will be getting what is the amount of area required. Correct. Now according to the geometry of your rolled section, this is I section shown here, according to geometry of rolled section, either you adapt square plate or you go with rectangular plate. Suppose you are adapting square plate, in that case yes, your length and breadth value both are going to be same, and area will be calculated as under root of area. Correct. So length will be calculated or breadth will be calculated as under root of area. So for that calculation you need to again consider minimum edge distance. Correct. So this particular is the bolt, minimum edge distance from this side and minimum edge distance from this side is to be considered for one anchor bolt at both the ends. And in case of rectangular plates, you need to assume length value by considering the depth of section and edge distance for anchor bolts. Correct. So if one of the side you are calculating as length, by with the help of area required you can calculate breadth value. So area required divided by your assumed value of length, you may calculate breadth required. Correct. Now here after that step you calculate the area provided, that is length adapted into breadth adapted. Correct. And using adapted values you go for calculating the actual pressure for the base plate, and that is given as W value, and it will be total force acting divided by the values of area adapted. Correct. Or area provided, that is length adapted into breadth adapted. Always this W value should be lesser than your bearing strength of concrete. Correct. Now as per IS 800, thickness of base plate is calculated as under root of 2.5 W is your actual bearing pressure, into bracket A square minus 0.3 B square multiplied by partial safety factor gamma m0 divided by yield strength of steel, that is Fy 250. Correct. Here you need to understand this A value and B value, these are your smaller and lesser projections. Correct. Here I have shown A value, again A value from this side, and from vertical side I am showing B value and B value. So in the formula always your horizontal value, that is A, is not going to be this one. here you need to add up the greater value. In some cases it may happen that B value is going to be greater than A. In that cases first projection is to be considered as your greater projection, correct? After adapting L value, that is length adapted and breadth adapted, L value is going to known to us, and again we are also having depth of section, correct? So you can calculate A projection as, so A projection will be what? Length minus H value divided by 2, that is going to be your A projection. Similarly you calculate B projection as breadth adapted minus width of flange divided by 2. Now here after calculating A value and B value, you initially check which is your greater value. Always greater value is to be considered initially minus 0.3 B square, correct, into partial safety factor divided by yield strength Fy is equal to 250, and again minimum requirement that value should be greater than your thickness of flange. Suppose the calculated thickness of base plate is less than thickness of flange, in that cases minimum value adapted should be thickness of flange. Then finally after deciding the thickness, size of the base plate will be fixed, length into breadth into thickness, correct, and based on the connection, assuming that whether it is the load is partially transferring or directly passing depending upon the perfect machining between your column, rolled section and your base plate, you need to design the connection, correct. And always for every problem provide minimum M20 diameter anchor bolts, 4 anchor bolts at every corner of your plate, correct. So here important calculation in case of slab based design is thickness of your section, and that depends upon the projection beyond your rolled section, that is A projection and B projection, where A is always a greater projection, correct. So these are the same design steps in case of slab design. Now in case of second type, that is gusseted base design, here slightly difference is there as it is supported with your additional gusset plates and gusset angles. So in the figure you can understand it is a rolled section. Here initially this is a rolled section that is initially connected with one gusset plate, and that gusset plate is connected with gusset angle. So likewise this additional two thicknesses are added while calculating your length of base plate, correct. So the first step is similar, calculating the bearing strength as 0.45 FCK. Calculating area required is also same, PU divided by bearing strength of concrete. Now for deciding the size of base plate, initially you need to assume the thickness of gusset plate and your size of angle section. So usually in order to accommodate the bolts here, we are adapting unequal angle section. So unequal angle section of 150, 115 or greater than 150 also may be adapted. We are always adapting unequal angle section as 2 bolts or 3 bolts may be accommodated in this particular vertical leg. Therefore unequal angle should be adapted. So initially for calculating the length of base plate, you assume thickness of gusset plate and size of your angle section. Using that you may calculate total length of base plate, correct. After calculating the length of base plate, area divided by calculated length base plate, you will be getting the breadth of plate. Again see whether proper edge distance are available or you can increase that particular area. Now calculate the unsupported projection of base plate. So in short, from this particular section 1 your distance is your cantilever portion, and that is called as your unsupported distance, correct. As from this particular edge of angle up to this particular edge, it is supported with the help of your rolled section and gusset plate. So projection beyond this section 1 projection beyond this critical section 1 is to be calculated, and that is called as your C value, correct. So calculate actual pressure, that is load divided by area provided. Take movement at critical section. So movement is going to be your cantilever movement. For cantilever movement, actual pressure is acting as a UDL, uniformly distributed load. So cantilever movement is W into distance square divided by 2. So here distance is your C value. Suppose that is projection beyond your support, so we'll call this particular distance as your C distance. So your movement for cantilever when UDL is acting is W into C square divided by 2, correct. So that will be critical movement for this section. Now here you need to equate the critical movement with movement capacity of plate. So movement capacity of plate is given as MD equals to 1.2 Fy into your Z, that is section modulus. So section modulus is given as I by Y value, that is moment of inertia divided by your distance of half of the distance of extreme fiber. So I by Y we are directly getting as T square by 6, and that is nothing but your section modulus. So in this particular equation, Fy is the yield strength, T is the thickness which is to be calculated for this base plate, divided by 6 and divided by gamma m0 partial safety factor 1.1. Now equating this design strength with calculated moment, you are going to get the thickness which is required for the base plate in case of gusseted base plate designs, correct? And the last step will be design of connection. Now again, in case of your design of connection also, you need to assume that whether there is perfect machining between your rolled section and your base plate. In some cases you may assume 50% of the load is transferred directly, and for 50% only you need to design number of bolts to be carried, or in some cases you calculate the number of bolts for entire section, that is entire load given, correct? And in that cases, here you can understand that partially some of the bolts here, partially some of the bolts are single shear failure. Here two plates are there, it is a single shear failure, and here three plates are there, it is a double shear failure. So always you need to calculate for single shear, and usually if you are adapting M20 bolts, in that cases shearing failure is near about equal to 90 kilonewton. So in that cases, number of bolts are to be calculated by considering single shear failure, and you calculate the number of bolts. Total number of bolts will be divided on two sides. So this is the side elevation or side view for that cases, and always try to provide the bolts in even numbers. So here suppose 4 bolts, again 4 bolts, here 2 bolts, or again pattern of 4 bolts only you may adapt. So likewise 4 zones are divided, or your entire gusset plate will be subjected divided into 4 component parts, and total bolts are to be divided on these 4 particular portions, correct? So this will be the difference in design steps for your gusseted base and in case of slab base. Slab base is somewhat straightforward problem, and in case of gusseted base you need to calculate the cantilever moment, that is projection beyond the support, and for calculating the thickness of base plate, this particular cantilever moment is to be equated with bending strength of base plate, correct? So here this particular basic design steps of gusseted base and slab base we have completed. In the next video we will be dealing with some of the numericals, university numericals based on design of slab base and gusseted base. So thank you very much.